We continue with part 3. When we drew these walls, we're just drawing rectangular or horizontal and vertical lines. So, and we're talking about that when we activate the wall command, then we get these options that we can draw walls with. So again, when it's the default is line, so that means that I'm drawing one wall at a time. Okay, I'm going to escape, go back over here, and then what if I want to do a rectangle all at one time? I can do it like that. So I can select this one and just click upper left and then bottom right, and I've got a rectangle wall room or a perimeter of the building. That's another way. What else do we have? We have these polygon shapes as well. Okay, that draws whatever wall you have active. We have this other one. We have circles. Okay, and then we have arcs. Start and radius. That's this one. We also have the center, start, end. You click on the center of the arc, you click on the start, and then you can go to either side end of the arc. And so all these are walls. Okay, and you can, again, once it's drawn, then you can change the walls that you have. For example, let's say I want to change these walls. Remember, if you want to select more than one wall, you need to use the control key. Notice that when I press the control key, right next to the cursor, I get a little plus sign. That means I can start adding to the selection. Okay, so if I want to change these walls, right now those walls are interior walls. I've selected the walls and I can change the type by just going in into the properties and say I'm going to use brick on these walls. So now that wall system is brick. Same thing, instead of using or clicking all these walls one at a time with the control key like this, you can do it faster by just hovering over a wall and press tab one time, and then all that chain of walls gets selected. So I can just click and I can select all those walls at one time and then go to my properties and change that to something else. There we go, that one. Okay, let's go back to the floor plan. So I drew all those individually, different shapes that you can do. But when we have this chain option, it's pretty cool because I'm going to start with a straight wall. So I'm just going to say I'm going to go from here to here, and I'm still in the chain, but I want to change to a different shape. So all I have to do is click right here. So let's say I want to go from here to there, and then go back to a straight line and continue my chain of walls. And then let's say I want to do a center. So I pick the center of that one, and then I pick this endpoint and then continue this way. See that? And then go back to straight line, and then, oops, what happened? Right there. And then to close that, just select on the wall and click on trim. Pick one wall and then another one, and then I'm done. Now notice that I was just eyeballing all these, so if I get a weird fraction dimension from my radiuses, all I have to do is select on the wall and say I want a 10-foot even. So I overwrite the dimension and it does it for me. That shape gets to a 10-foot radius. Same thing over here. I want that 15-foot even, and it does it for me. Okay, pretty neat. Okay, so back on my 3D, what if, let me get rid of this one. What if on this wall, and if I wanted that wall to be higher? Well, all I have to do is select that wall, and the top constraint, right now we told it that we wanted to go up to level 2. But I'm going to click on the unconnected wall, and I'm going to tell it I want that wall to be 20 feet. I'm going to hit apply. So I can change that. In other words, all these walls don't have to be the same height. Okay, so same thing with this one. I want that wall to be top constraint unconnected, and then I don't know, 15 feet, and then hit apply. So now that wall is different. So you can have all these different shapes, different sizes, and do anything that you need to do with the walls. Okay, let's go back to the floor plan and start adding some doors. I'm going to add a couple of more walls. Interior walls, there we go. Just so I can add some doors. Over here on the door, by default we only have one set of doors, the single flush. So you can choose any size from here. Let's say I want this one. When we're placing a door, notice that whatever side of the wall my cursor is, the door is going to be installed. So if I hover on the right, the door will be placed on the right. If I hover on the left, the door gets to the left. If I want to change the door swing, I use the space bar. Space bar, space bar. Okay, space bar, there we go. So I place it right there, clicked. Okay, and I notice I have these little arrow things. So that means that once the door is placed, I can still switch it to the other side and flip the door swing and back to the other side. So once it's placed, it's always editable. You can also just click and drag visually, or you can use 6 inches, enter. You can use the temporary dimensions as well. If I wanted to add new door types that I don't have, first thing I need to do is go to my Insert tab and then Load Family, and then I look for doors, and then I choose anything from here. So I'm going to choose that one and say Open, and it's going to load it in, and then it's done. So I go back to my tab over here where the doors are, and now I have that second door type option available. So I'm going to pick this one, and I don't know, let's put it over here. Click. So let's take a look over here, and there's my door. And then just like the walls, once a door is placed, I can always change it just by clicking on it, selecting a different type, and then hit apply, and it does it. There we go. If I want to go back to a double door with a different size, select it, and it updates by itself. Pretty neat. Windows are the exact same way. Let me go back to my floor plan. I'm going to add some windows right here, windows. So I looked at my types and I select whatever size I want, and then I just start placing 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I forgot to mention, before I placed them, the default sill height is 1 foot. What is sill height? That means that the bottom of the window, that's called a sill. The sill height is 1 foot from the floor. So from this point going up is 1 foot. You can always change that here by selecting the window. Let's say I want that to be 2 feet, and then hit apply. So it moves it up 2 feet. You can also use your temporary dimensions. You can barely see it, but it's here. I can click on that and say I want that 1'6", hit enter, and it moves it for you. So any change you make here is also available over here. So let's say, well, I don't want that window, I want a different size. So select the window, click on the type, and find the size that you want. There we go. I want that to be higher, so I'm going to say the sill height needs to be 4 feet. Apply, and it moves it up 4 feet from the floor. Alright, so doors, windows, pretty easy.